Oh shit. Episode 2. Um, I've learned a lot of shit since last time. So hopefully this goes well. Today we're talking about, I'm talking about, I was trying to get some other people on here, but it's probably not gonna happen. But, I'm talking about weight loss, some other shit. Um, don't worry, I'm not gonna get weirdly fucking political. I don't think, unless you think it is. In that case, well, sorry. But without offending people, my opinion on weight loss today, and there's some other stuff down the road too. So I hope you enjoy. I hope this is something that just entertains you. I have some really good stuff to say, so stick around and let's do this thing. Um, so I'm a fat guy, and most people can hear that in my voice. I just have that voice of like, man, he sounds fat, which is great. Um, I love it, I honestly do, because it makes me stand out more, I guess, in a crowd. Um, I've recently began to try to lose weight, and I'd like to lose 100 pounds by next year. I don't think it's gonna happen because I'm still doing shit I shouldn't be. I drink, I smoke, um, so that type of stuff, you got really cut out if you're going to try to lose weight. Um, but yeah, uh, so the reason I decided to try to lose weight is I was like, fuck, I've been fat my whole life. Let's try something new. For the most part, there wasn't anything about like being healthy. I really don't care if I live a long life. Life's short as it is, so whatever it is, what it is. I'm just gonna have fun while I do it. Excuse me. So I decided to try to lose weight because I was like, I really want to get laid. Um, and that sounds like a joke, but it's true. I want to get laid. I want to meet a woman eventually down the road that is like, you're worth it, I guess, for now. Which necessarily won't happen, but you never know. My chances go up if I'm not a fat ass. So yeah, that's what I decided to do with that. Excuse me. But like some people are like, oh, I'm doing it because this person called me fucking fat back in high school. I was like, all right, that's a valid reason, 100,000%. So my personal take on weight is I don't give a shit what you look like. Some people are like, oh, that's fucking disgusting. How could you live with yourself? I don't care. Because it's you. If you're happy with who you are, fuck it. Why not live that life? And I apply that to almost everything in my life, in the real world. Because honestly, we live in a world that's so connected and judgmental of each other that doesn't even matter. So why the fuck? Why would you even care? I guess if I were to give someone advice on like starting, I'd say do it for yourself. There's a lot of people out there that do it for other people, and it's just not worth their time at that point. And your heart's not in it. I will say if you're fine with who you are, more power to you, 1,000%. If you look like a lady that goes into Walmart and gets one of those little electric wheelchairs, you know the ones I'm talking about. The ones that are like fucking the size of the aisle, and you're fucking happy with that, congratulations. More power to you, 100%. Because in all honesty, you know you're probably gonna get hate because of the way you look. If you're happy with that, then good on you. I really believe that. So I will say, like when it comes to anything about your physical appearance, It's something that needs to be like from you, not from someone else, not from like the world's perspective on it. Because like world, I feel like society as a whole values like thin, attractive people. And I feel like that's not always the case. Like it shouldn't be the case anyway, because it's like a lot of the times, like when I look at a woman and she's like supermodel skinny, like I just ate a peanut for lunch and I threw it up afterwards, but it was the most delicious thing I've ever had type of skinny. Yeah, that shit I don't find attractive. I think that's part of like beauty is like everyone has their own values when it comes to that. Everyone sees everyone in different perspectives. So my perspective is I like a little meat on the bones. You know, I don't want my steak with fat cut off. Whatever, all natural, baby. Which is, I feel like whatever. But some people like them tiny, and it's like cool. Go with that. But leave each other alone. Holy shit. There's a lot of fucking hate out there. Like some people are just joking about it. Whatever, that's fine. Everybody's guilty of it. You know, if you're out at a fucking party and you see this lady who or man or anything that looks like a friggin' whale, you say something about it. Clearly, I'm guilty of it. So I guess my own opinion on that is like, who cares? Let everybody live their own lives, and don't be that guy that's like, fuck you, buddy, because of the way they look. That just seems like a waste of time. Everybody's time, because you know everybody lives here max 100 years max. Damn, excuse me. Max lifespan 100 years most of the time, unless you're really lucky or just had a really healthy life, I guess. And that's not a really long time to be on planet Earth. It is, I guess, in retrospect, it's a good amount of time, but it's not something that's like, holy shit. You're not here for 1,000 years. You're not here for 2,000 years. You're here for 100 max, most of the time, like 85. In fact, I'd like to clock out a little bit early. So, I don't know. I guess my main message, my moral of the story today is don't be a dick. Just live your fucking life. Enjoy it while it lasts, because it doesn't last forever. And I guess my perspective on that is a little bit different than a lot of people, because my brother passed away when I was 16. And it really changed my life, I guess, the way I looked at things. Went through a long dark period, and then I realized, wait, my brother didn't live like that. He was the happiest guy I knew, and he was someone that was always happy. He was a really positive person, did his own thing, didn't give a fuck about what anybody else thought, which is great, which is something I feel like everybody should try to live for. Obviously, times get tough, you get down, it happens to everybody, and I don't expect everybody to have like the happiest life of all time. It just doesn't happen. It's not realistic. But I feel like if you can make the most of the moment, then you know what, that's the best you can do, for yourself and for everybody around you, is just kind of live in your moment, live the moment and enjoy it, because it doesn't last forever. So yeah, that's my rant about weight loss and weight and physical appearance. Moving on a little bit here. Didn't want to spend too much time on the topic, because why? Why would I? I drink a lot of alcohol. I'm starting to slowly realize this. I'm drinking right now. In fact, give me a second. That's some crisp stuff. Anyway, I don't know what my point was there. I just wanted to let it be known. Alcohol is good. If you like alcohol, I love you. You're a great person. Anyway, next topic today is, I guess. Hold on, sorry, I'm looking at a list of things. I guess I'm gonna go into some things that I enjoy. I really enjoy playing video games. It's one of my favorite pastimes when I'm not, out doing stuff, and I'm home and I have nothing else to do. Video games are my favorite. And there's a lot of new games coming out, and I'm really excited about those new games. There's a lot of them that look really great, even on the consoles and stuff. But when I saw these games coming out, I started to realize, like Battlefield 2042 and the new COD that eventually gets released or whatever. These games are coming out and they look great and they have really good graphics and should be fun, whatever. I recently started getting into PC stuff, and it's like, I realized that consoles are not going to be able to keep up with the PC game. They never have been, they never will be. Why do we still use consoles? I guess is the big thing that popped into my brain. Is it because they're more easily accessible? Is it because PC typically requires internet so you can download your games? I guess that would factor into it, but I don't know. I just keep thinking about it. It's like Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. These are three companies that have lasted since, what, the 50s? No, not 50s. That's too early. Nintendo was the longest lasting one. I want to say 80s. PlayStation, Xbox didn't come around until I think the 90s. I could be wrong about that. I don't know my fucking history on every single console and speck of dirt that exists on this planet, but what I do know is these consoles are coming out more and more. You see, like PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, these consoles come out and everybody's like, whoa, it looks amazing, blah, blah, blah. And that's great. They do look amazing. I actually have a PS5 and it's great. It's awesome. I love the console. Very fun, very slim, very just unique. But then I'm like, wait, I have this $1,000 piece of hardware, which isn't the top of the line at all, but it can play most of the games that my PS5 can. Why are people still flocking to the stores to go get like an Xbox or Nintendo or whatever? And yes, you can say like the exclusive games are really good on them or whatever, or maybe you just grew up with a PlayStation or whatever, and you don't want to like go with that. But it's like at the same time, most like 80, I would say like 80% of the games that come out on PlayStation and Xbox, those games are accessed on PC as well. Nintendo is a different story. I actually want to talk about them in a separate little thing here, because Nintendo has been around since, like I said before, or in the 80s. They really spearheaded what games would be and what they would become. I know there were computer games like after that and stuff, but it's like you look at Nintendo. Nintendo is the only cartridge console. Like they started out as a cartridge console that stuck with it and like powered through everything. Like you look at Sega. Sega's basically non-existent. They have like games. I think they have names on their games still, like Sonic. I think that's still part of Sega, but I think they're owned by Nintendo. I don't know for sure. You look at the Atari. That went away very quickly. So it just amazes me, it mind boggles me that consoles from Xbox, Microsoft, and Sony still exist, because I mean, Microsoft has no reason to sell consoles. They could literally just keep making software for computers. I'm assuming they make computer parts. I don't know. I'm not an expert on this shit. They could literally just keep making that type of shit and be fine. They wouldn't have to make an Xbox every time Sony makes an Xbox or Sony makes a PlayStation. So it just mind boggles me. That's like, why are we still getting consoles when we have PC, um, I don't know. It's just a question that like pops into my head every time that I ponder. It's like, do we still need them? Do we? I mean, I feel like PCs aren't that hard to get. You can have them pre-built. You can get pre-built ones that might not be as good, but they still work. That sort of thing. So it really just, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe someone has the answer out there. If they do, fucking give it to me, because I'm curious. Curious what your thoughts are on that. Excuse me. Wow. I'm having a rough time today, apparently. So, moving into some of the games that are coming out that I'm like super excited for. Oh, fucking God. I hope that doesn't hear on recording. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit before I go into games. My fucking weight. This is another reason why I started to lose weight. Honestly, bigger reason than trying to get laid or get in a relationship. My chair fucking squeaks. Every time I sit in a chair, it squeaks. Listen to this. I know you heard that one. I saw it. I know you heard that one. So that's one of the other reasons I want to lose weight. It's such a stupid thing in my life that's like fucking pisses me off, and I don't know why. But it's like, if I were gonna lose weight, it better be for me. That's for my benefit. Fucking squeaky chairs are super annoying. And it happens in almost every type of chair I sit in. Recliner, couch, everything. I am a mess when it comes to chairs. I'm pissed off all the time. Anyway, back on topic. I'm gonna move back into video games here. Some really cool games that were coming out, like FPS games anyway, at least this year that I know of. Battlefield 2042 looks so good. I love Battlefield games. I honestly enjoyed all of them, even the ones that weren't as widely accepted. And I guess that's just because they're so unique in their own way. Like they're so large scale. They're interesting to look at. They have a lot of cool dynamics and stuff. And then I'm curious to see what the new COD looks like. I know a lot of people are very skeptical about Call of Duty now, especially with Cold War releasing, and it's not that great. It's okay, I guess. I still have fun with it, but I am curious to see what the new one looks like, just because it's like, sometimes Call of Duty pulls through. Sometimes. I won't pre-order it at all. I'll probably just buy it when it comes out, because pre-ordering has been god-awful for me lately. I pre-ordered Biomutant. That game was not as quality as I thought it would be, which sucks, because it's like you already spend the money on it, like, come on. But, oh well, life goes on. Some other games that I'm really excited for, specifically for my PlayStation 5, are God of War, Ragnarok, I think it's going to be called, or, whatever, it's not been released yet. But, that game looks pretty fun. Or it looks like it's gonna be just like the one they released in, was it 2018? So good, such a good game, good story game. I'm ready for the Ghost of Tsushima DLC. I know a lot of people are pissed off about the upgrade situation, but it's like, I don't know. I mean, I've heard it's only $10 to upgrade to a new console. So if you have a new console, $10 isn't really that bad. And if you don't upgrade, don't fucking upgrade. I think you can still play the PS4 version on PS5. But yeah, no, there's a lot of good games that look like they're going to come out very soon. I'm very excited for it. The state of gaming right now is kind of like lackluster. I feel like that happens after every console. It takes a while for them to transition over. It takes a while for everybody to get used to the coding on there. It takes a while for people to even get the console, especially this year. With the pandemic and everything going on. So yeah, no, I'm really excited, really hopeful for this next year of gaming to be great. Which leads me into, not really, but kinda. Last year, 2020, was rough for everybody out in the world. Whether you live in America, whether you live in Europe somewhere, I don't fucking know. Anywhere, it was rough. It was a pandemic. It's just a bad time. Everybody was stuck inside, miserable. Maybe if you weren't stuck inside and still had to go to your job, you were still miserable because it sucked. You had to wear a mask everywhere, which isn't really that big of a deal, I guess, but it was still kind of like, ugh, this thing is hot and I don't want to live anymore, so why not just take it off? But, anyway, what I was going to say with that was last year was rough, and I hope everyone has made it through to this past 6 months relatively well, and makes it through this next month very well, because it's really hard. It is a hard time. Excuse me. For everybody, it's very difficult to kind of keep moving on and act like everything's normal when it's not. But that's why I wanted to do something like this, was just to kind of speak and have a connection to people that I really wouldn't have before. Podcasts have always interested me. It's something that I've wanted to do for a while now, and I'm really excited to be able to have all this stuff to do it. And I'm still figuring out things. It's not the best quality podcast. It won't be for a while. If this grows into something larger, I want to do some other things on my channel. I want to do things like, I want to do gameplay. That stuff's always fun. I want to live stream eventually. I want to build up steam. I want people to enjoy my content and stuff. So if you do find this, subscribe, please. And if you don't enjoy it, tell me why, because I'm always interested, even if it's a stupid thing. But no. 2020 was crazy because I learned a lot about stuff. I learned to not piss people off and to have an open mind, I guess. There's a lot of things I've learned about that's like, okay, the thing with George Floyd was probably the worst thing that's ever happened in recent history, I guess, to African American culture. And this is dipping into politics a little bit, and I'm not trying to, but it was really cool to see, like, people unite over that and stuff. And I didn't realize it at first, but it was more people protesting than there were rioting, because I know the riots existed, but once I educated myself on it, it was like, alright, awesome. Like, I mean, there are people that care. There are people out there willing to unite and peacefully, protest these things and really try to get a movement going. Really cool. Obviously, 2020 was like, I think it's been one of the roughest years I've seen in a while, because like even when Ebola broke out, I don't remember going into like lockdown. Like my school never shut down. That type of shit. So that was interesting to see. I went to work every day. I work at Walmart, which leads to interesting stories. Back at the time of the whole pandemic, I was on I was a supervisor, basically. Just to not bore you with details of Walmart. But no, Walmart has led to a lot of interesting stories in my life, and I think it's something that's like, this is why I want to talk, because it's like, there's so much to say about stupid people that go into these stores. You think it's just a meme, but then you get into it and it's like, yeah, no, these people exist. I had to deal with them. I still deal with them. But I've been at Walmart for 5 years and never had a real big issue with them. I mean, I hate customers. I hate them with a passion sometimes, but it happens. I've been, a little backstory on me, I guess. I've been a cart pusher. One of the most interesting jobs I think I've ever had, because when I started at Walmart, I started as a cart pusher, and the parking lot is where all the shit happens, most of the time. I was a cart pusher, and one of the first things a customer's ever done to me, or like pissed me off with, was almost ran me over with her car after telling me to go, and then looks at me dead in the eye and says, "You need to watch where you're going." I said, "Lady, you told me to move on. I have a line of carts, mind you, so I have like 20 carts in a row. It takes me a while to cross, but she told me to cross on." She did a little wave. She like waved her hand and then pulls up next to me, honks at me, and says, rolls down her window and says, "Hey, watch where you're going." I said, "Excuse me?" "Watch where you're going, or I'll have to talk to your manager." I said, "Okay. Alright. I'm sorry I got in your way, I guess." And into the conversation there. What I wanted to say was, "Fuck you, let's go talk to my manager real quick, I'll explain what happened." I didn't, because I was new, so I didn't have any sort of pull. But I told my manager, like the day after, she looks at me and goes, "Why did she tell you to go if she was gonna bitch at you for going?" I said, "I don't know, I should have hit her car." My manager looks at me dead in the eye and goes, "Yeah, you should have." But no, you see a lot of interesting things there. My next job after that was stocking freight. You wouldn't think that wouldn't be a weird job, but it's weird because you stock freight. You just put shit on shelves, easy. You unload the truck, easy stuff. One of the biggest things I've had to deal with on that team was everybody was a gossip. You had your typical like clique, which is weird because it's not high school. It's a fucking workplace. But it's funny because you'd have your typical clique, and then you'd have people like me and my friends who just didn't give a fuck and were just there to get money, which is what most people should do. But no, everybody was pissed off at each other constantly, and some of it was like work related, like they don't work hard, they piss me off. Okay, fine, awesome. That's a valid reason to be pissed off. Some of it was stupid, like stupid stuff. Like there was one guy that was always bitching because another girl did something to him. I don't know. Like there was always that type of shit. And it's like, why are you worried about that? You're here to make a paycheck. Go home. Just do it. So I don't know. That job was weird because everybody acted like they were in high school. My next job in Walmart after that was excuse me, God damn. Was being an electronics associate. If you've ever been in Walmart, there's always an electronics desk. They help you with whatever they can. I don't know. We're minimum wage workers. Like, don't fucking judge me if I don't know how something works in electronics. I'm sorry. It's not my job. My job is to put shit up and help you get checked out, I guess, and provide the best customer service I can. I don't have a college degree about that, so I don't have a college degree, period. Anyway, I think my weirdest experience in electronics was when this one lady would come up, and she'd come out like every day and say, "I'm having issues with my phone." Okay. Fifth time I dealt with her, I was like, okay, welcome back, first off. Like, she must really like our customer service. That's great, whatever. I'll help you out. Well, my phone keeps turning off. I said, "Have you charged it?" "Yes, I've charged it." I was like, "Are you sure?" She says, "Yes." Okay. I took the phone out of the lady's hand. She handed it to me. She said, "Do whatever you need to do." I said, "Okay." Went over to our charger station. We have like 4 different chargers for every type of phone there is. I took it over there, plugged it in, and immediately the phone lights up. It says 0%. I looked up, looked back down at the phone, looked back up, looked back down. I said, "Needs to be charged." She said, "I charged it last night." I said, "Was it plugged in all the way. Sometimes that happens. Yes, I made sure. Okay, I showed her. It said 0%. We waited like it was like 10 minutes. It hit 5%. I turned the phone on. I check everything that I usually check. I shoot a text to myself. I make a call to myself. I browse or do simple Google search. Everything's working. I said, your phone just wasn't charged. She said, that can't be right. Something's wrong with the battery. I said, that's a possibility. That happens sometimes. Sometimes the batteries wear out. They get flooded. Whatever the fuck. I don't know. I don't know everything about phones. But anyway, I was like, that's a possibility. I was like, do an experiment with it. Charge it to 100%. Make sure it's at 100%. And then turn it on. See how long it lasts without you doing much on it. She's like, I only use it to call people, so it'll be easy. I said, okay, cool. Excuse me, sorry, I'm moving the mic around a lot. So anyway, the next day she comes in and she brings me the phone. She says, it's dead again. I said, okay. I was like, is there something wrong with your charger then? I was like, because our charger charges it fine. She said, I don't know. Okay. Do you have that charger on you by chance? I happen to bring it with me, yeah. I said, okay, cool. And I looked at her and I was like, ma'am, this charger has exposed wires on it. You have an issue with your charger right there. She said, I didn't think that was a big deal. I taped it. Okay, tape doesn't make electricity, lady. I could not stand this lady at this point. I was like, okay, well, you're going to need to get a new charger. Where are those? Okay, I'll show you. Showed her the chargers. And she goes up to check out. She said, are you sure this is going to work? I said, if it doesn't, bring the freaking charger back. You have the receipt. Okay. Next day, she's in there again. Why? This charger doesn't work either. I was like, how are you plugging in your phone? She showed me and she's plugging it an upside fucking down. Why would you do that? I was like, if it doesn't fit, don't try to force it. Look at the hole. Look at the plug. Match that up. Simple shapes. Oh my god. Oh, the things I had to do with electronics were just, they pissed me off. Like, people are, I think when you enter Walmart, you have this stipulation of like, okay, I'm just gonna treat everybody like absolute dog shit, because that's what happens. In my experience anyway. Like, there's a lot of nice customers, a lot of good customers that are just like normal people. Then you have like people come in there and they're like just the worst, and they don't treat you like a human being. They treat you like you're dog shit beneath their shoe. It is ridiculous to me. Anyway, after electronics, I became the supervisor over the stocking team, which was weird for me. It was like surreal, I guess. I was like, I've never been in charge of a group of people. This is fucking weird. Why would they listen to me? Whatever. That was a decent job, I guess. I fucking hated it, to be honest. I didn't have to deal with customers as much, but people still pissed me off. So I got out of that and I moved on to my current job, which is absolutely my most favorite job I've had within Walmart ever. I am an asset protection associate. If you don't know what that is, basically it's Walmart security. Security is a very loose term though, because I don't use any sort of force. I don't have a nightstick. I don't have a fucking taser or anything like that. My job is to protect assets, things that make us money. That means associates. That means products. That means I have to take care of safety stuff too. But part of the job is making live stops, and what that is if someone's shoplifting in any sort of way, they just push the shit out, they just skip scan, whatever, I stop them at the door and I tell them, hey, you fucked up. My job is not to send people to jail, and I always make that a clear thing when I stop them, because I don't give a fuck if they go to jail. What I care about is getting my shit back, because that's my paycheck, and that's what my favorite part is about it. I protect my money, and I do like money. When it comes to my job. So anyway, I'm not fully trained on that position yet. I've just recently got into it. You have to make 3 live stops with a trained associate before you can move on. So what I did was I've made 2 live stops. And they were both very great experiences. If by great I mean horrible, shitty, I hate you type of people that I didn't mind stopping. So the first lady was at the self-checkouts. She was in one of the Mart carts, which is those electric scooter things that the beluga whales sit on. Man, excuse me, I'm gonna get a drink here. Anyway, she was on one of those little electric scooter things. She had an oxygen tank. I was like, oh, that fucking sucks for her, I guess. I had a hard time believing it by the time she got to the office. But anyway, so the way a stop is supposed to go at Walmart is, I can't give it every single detail, but basically, you go up to them very nicely, and they just bring the shit back to you. Every store does it differently. No one gets aggressive. It's very polite. We're not allowed to get hands on or anything. Anyway, I approached this lady, and she's immediately defensive because she knows what she did wrong. And it's always that way. They always say, oh, I don't know what I did, blah, 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 blah. Sure you don't. But, you know, I understand, like, some people go through a hard time and stuff, and it's like, I get that, but try not to steal, I guess. You'd be better off, you know, asking for money from someone, paying fucking back later, who cares. Anyway, she was at the self-checkouts, and she skipped, like, 17 different items. I don't know, it was something ridiculous. It was like, you paid for over half of it, but then you skipped these 17 to 20 items, and it didn't amount to anything enough to make them like call the cops or anything. So I'm like, okay, let's just go in the office and talk about this. No. What? No, I don't want to go in there with you. I said, ma'am, it'll take 2 seconds. I'll just write down your shit and get you out. She looks at me and she's like, I didn't steal anything. You're welcome to check my receipt and do all this. I'm like, no, I have to take you into the office because we don't embarrass people. We don't stop out there and ridicule you. Anyway, my boss comes out and she's like, just go in there. Like, it'll take 2 seconds of your time, and we're not gonna call the cops because it's not worth our fucking time. She's like, I'm almost out of oxygen. She goes, we'll call you a fucking ambulance. And anyway, she eventually becomes compliant with us and was like, fuck it, I'll go with you. We take her in, take down her shit, and the funniest part about it to me was she was so worried about her oxygen in the meeting, but by the time she reaches the door, she is like standing up out of her Mart cart, trying to fucking jiggle shit, getting aggravated, blah, 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 and rips the fucking oxygen tubes out of her nose. I don't know how oxygen tanks work for these people. I really don't, because, like, I've never known anybody with an oxygen tank, but I didn't think you were supposed to yank it out of your nose. Maybe you are, I don't know, but, she yanked it out of her nose for, like, 20 minutes, and then puts it back in, and acts like she's dying, and we were like, just, alright, we're done, like, you can leave, fuck you, have your shit, go. She leaves, blah, 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 blah. In my mind, if someone comes up to me, like, if I steal something, like a Target, I don't know how Target works, but let's say it's at a Target, just for fun. And they say, you have to come with us because you stole shit. And we're just going to take your information. We're not going to call the cops. You'll just be in our information data bank. Easy peasy. I would be like, alright, I'm a dumbass. I stole. Here you go. Instead, every single person that I've stopped so far, which there have been 3, they've all argued in some sort of way. And I'm just like, just fucking calm down. Like, I think there's a moment of panic for them that's like, oh shit, I stole. These people are gonna send me to jail because they care about their fucking business. I don't give a shit about what Walmart loses because it's a mega corporation. They're fine. What I do care about is you stealing from my store because that shit affects my profits personally because our paychecks come from that type of shit. So that's the only reason I care so much. So I wish everybody knew that specifically because like my money is what comes into that store and then what goes out paid for. What is unpaid for affects my bonuses, my living, and that just kind of like strikes home with me. So it's like I wish everybody knew that. I know it's not like obvious information out there, I guess, but I don't know. If you ever need a job, go to Walmart because you'll have some hilarious stories to tell eventually. Because there's some funny ones I have saved in my memory. So yeah, I don't know. That's my story of Walmart. And my story of weight loss and trying to lose weight. And what I'm excited for with video games. I know it's been all over the place, but it's been fun. I hope this one turns out better. I'm actually pretty proud of the time. I was actually aiming for right around this amount of time, so this is great. I'm glad I can do this. And like, if you do find this video and you want to support, thank you. Like, leave a like, subscribe. You don't even have to pay for anything. I'm not asking for a Patreon subscription because I know I'm a nobody. I'm not worried about it. I'm just here to fucking bullshit. This is my hobby. It really is. And if I can turn it into a career, great. If I can't, whatsoever, I don't care. It's a fun time to bullshit and get shit out of my mind, I guess. I don't know. I don't think there's anything else. I think that's it. If you do enjoy, like I said before, like, subscribe, leave a comment. I love feedback. I love it. I love the way we can communicate. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, evening, morning, whatever the fuck it is. And if you don't, come back. Maybe I can make it better. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.